When processing our difficult experiences or dealing with our traumas, we always express ourselves in two ways. That is through trauma sharing or trauma dumping. Now, the biggest difference between these two, it depends on the intention, the impact, or the context on the listener. I repeat, intention, impact, and context on the listener, not on you who's dealing with your difficult experiences, which can be unintentional and overwhelming for those on the receiving end. When on the self-awareness journey, then you'll be inclined to the trauma sharing, which is a healthy and mindful way to discuss or to share your past pain. But when you're not on the self-awareness journey, then definitely you will land on this trauma dumping. You'll always be trauma dumping, which is unintentional but very overwhelming to the person who's on the receiving end. With that, what is trauma sharing? Trauma sharing is a conscious and respectful way of discussing your traumatic experiences. It is always done in safe and supportive environment, like either your close and trusted friends who are willing to listen, or support groups, or through therapy. And this is because the intention is to process your emotions, to seek support, or even to heal constructively and in a thoughtful manner. It involves considering the emotional boundaries of others, sharing at an appropriate time and place, and being open to mutual dialogue. Because remember, the end goal is for you to heal. The end goal is not just you to vent. It's not just you to blame or just complain. It is all about you healing. So you are open to a mutual dialogue. You are open to an open dialogue. While trauma dumping, on the other hand, is unregulated. It's often impulsive expression of your trauma, not caring whether the listener is ready to listen to you or has the emotional tools, the emotional capacity to deal with your shit. You don't care that. Just because they're your friend, hey, you know what? This is what I'm going through. You don't care about the listener. Bro, you can wake up at any time and just boom. No boundary, no consent. And it typically happens when someone overwhelms others with graphic or emotionally heavy details without warning or even consideration for timing and setting. With trauma dumping, the intentions may not be malicious. Basically, it stems from lack of self-awareness. Now with lack of self-awareness, what happens? There's no emotional regulation, or it actually might be a desperate need for validation or release. Most of the time, trauma dumping leaves the listener feeling shocked, feeling drained, or even feeling helpless. Because you are not prepared, you are not ready to take this emotional baggage. You are not ready to take this emotional weight. So now what do? You have now to compromise on your own reality. It doesn't matter whether you are also going through shit or nini. No, you have to compromise on your own reality because you have to help your friend. And you yourself, it's also subconscious for you at that moment. It's not that you are aware, it's not that you are aware that this person has actually drained you. It's because we've all been programmed like that. If your body calls you and this is what they need, it doesn't matter whether you have the emotional tools or not. You will be there just trying. In fact, sometimes you even don't know what to do. Most of us, sometimes we don't even know what to do. So you go like, hey, now what will you do? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? You are there trying everything that can be, anything that you can think of. But you don't want to come out and say, hey, shit, man, this thing is also leaving me helpless. I don't have this capacity. You didn't warn me for this shit, man. You've just bombarded me with all this thing going on. But we are not ready for that discussion now, are we? Yeah. While trauma sharing strengthens relationships and fosters understanding, trauma dumping strains them. Trauma dumping strains relationships. It will reach a point whereby now you will know your body. Anytime you see their call, you're like, now this person just wants to vent with no solution, and you'll start avoiding those calls. Instead of telling our bodies or telling our families the truth, what do? We start lingering the calls. We start diverting the calls because you know this person is gonna drain you. Heal, my people. Heal so that you can start the self-awareness journey. And instead of trauma dumping, you trauma share. Bruh, trauma share will even make the listener feel appreciated and trusted. Bruh, trauma dumping is draining. We never want to talk about that. Trauma dumping is draining. It will leave you helpless. It will strain you. And at the end of the day, it's going to, break that relationship. Because for you, you'll be like, this other person doesn't want to deal with their shit. To them, they just want to, they just want to be releasing. Every time we keep on repeating the same issue, you're venting over the same issue. When are you doing something about it? And that's the bad thing about trauma dumping. Trauma dumping, when you're not on the self-awareness journey, you're not healing. So it is just a pattern. You keep on repeating a certain pattern. Not giving a shit about the person you call your buddy, who's now your listener. You're draining them. My people, heal.